X1?
That's it, buddy.
Oh.
All right, so 3, 7, negative 6, 4. Find the slope. What do we do?
X2.
Say.
Y2 minus Y1. X2 minus X1.
Yep. And what letters did it equal?
M.
M. There you go. Okay, so if we go through this, we have to label this X1, Y1. We're going to label this X2, Y2. Is it okay if this was X2, Y2 and X1, Y1? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's plug it in. So I get 4 minus 7. Still with me on this story?
Yes.
And now I get negative 6 minus 3. Still with me?
Yes.
Where did the minus come from here and here? Right here and right here, right? Let's see, that's negative 3 over negative 9. Reduce, and I have negative. That's my slope. Okay, that's pretty easy. What about... Sorry. What about if we had this? What is the slope?
Negative 2 over 3.
Negative 2 over 3. What's the y-intercept?
7.
7. So the y-intercept is actually a point, so it should be 0, 7. Because if 0 means it doesn't go right or left, and it just goes up 7. Okay? What about if we had this? Now I wanted you to find the slope and the y-intercept. What do you need to solve for?
Y.
You need to solve for y. Okay, you want to get y by itself. So this wants to be by itself. Okay? So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Does 3x and 30 combine? No. Still with me on that? What's the last step? Divide everything by negative 2. Good. That cancels that. Y equals negative over negative is? Positive. Positive over negative is? What's my slope?
3 over 2.
And then, no, not the x, just the 3 over 2. And then my y-intercept is? Which is the same as? 0, negative 15. Cool. So this equation, y equals mx plus b, is slope-intercept form. Agreed? Where this is the slope, and that's the y-intercept. So if it's solved for y, the slope is attached to the x. The slope, it does not include x, it's just attached to it.
Will there be problems on like identifying slope and y?
Everything I've done is like similar problems that you'll see so far. Okay. How would I do this? If I have a slope of 7 and I know that 3, 8 is a point, how can I make this go into this? What's something right now, just by the problem being set up, that you definitely know? What letter do we definitely know? We know X. What else do we know? We know Y. What else do we know? We know M. So I don't know what B is, so let's solve for that. What do you think? Agree with that so far? So this was a Y, this was the M, this is X. So I have 8 equals 21 plus B. Subtract 21. B equals negative 13. Okay, so what is the linear equation written like this? How do I do it? Y equals what? Y equals? No. Where does the 13 fall in? What letter? Okay, it's at the end. There you go. No, not 3x. What is slope? What letter? M. What is M equal to? Y equals 7x minus 13 is the equation.
Oh, I did not get that. It's just straight on the board.
It is. I know. That's what I was trying to help you. Okay. So y equals mx plus b is really only when you need to. Oh, what? I may choke on my own spit. If I had this, how do I do it?
Plug in 10. as
10 in
x.
for x, right. So this goes in there, so I get 5, 10 squared plus 2. Order operation says what first? Parentheses, so 10 squared is 100. 5 times 100 is 500. So what point is this? What point? There you go, good. 10 comma 502. So if I were to have graphed this, the point 10 comma 502 is one of the points on there. Okay? Now, what if we knew, what if they told us, let's see, make sure how the problem's phrased. I think it is good enough. What if I had this? How do I do it? So is this 10 going in for the x, or is the 10 going in for a function at x? No, if I had this, this means I plug in for x. This is not the same thing. So where does this 10 get plugged in? If it doesn't go here, where does it go? Yeah, in front of the equal sign. So this is going to go take that spot. So I get 10 equals 7x minus 3. Solve that. Add 3. Divide by 7. Check to see if it reduces. If not. So what point does this yield us? Yes? Yes? Comma? 10. There it is. Angela.
So is the x always going to be 10?
No, this could, I mean, if I had f at smiley face, I'm going to put smiley face in right there. But if I says function at x equals this, and then f at x equals some arbitrary number, it means then you put it here. So there's only 2 spots that you can put it in. You can plug something in here, or you can plug something in here.
Okay.
That's the front page. Ready for the back page? Ready?
Yeah.
Everyone feel okay about the front page?
Yep.
Anyone confused on the front page? You good on the front page so far?
Yes, I am.
Gage, good? All right. Okay. Now the back page. This is all we are asking on the back page. Let's say I have this. Okay. And let's say we had that. Okay. So if I wanted to know where this graph is increasing, okay, that means it would go to the upper right. So is it increasing here to here?
Yes.
Is this increasing? What about this? Is this increasing?
Yes.
Is this increasing?
Yes.
Where is it decreasing? Yeah, the parts of the line that aren't. Decreasing here, decreasing here, decreasing here. That's really all it is. Now, what they might say is, tell me where it's increasing or decreasing when it's on the graph. Okay? So let's say we had this. Does everyone feel okay that some of this line will be increasing and some of this line will be decreasing? Okay? So all I'm going to do is now I'm going to put an XY axis on there. So let's call this, let's call that, I don't know, 3, 1. Be right there. Let's call that -1, -2 maybe. That's really all we need. So where is this going to? Infinity. Where is this going to? Is everyone okay with that? Where does it appear that it is decreasing? Does this appear here to decrease right to there? So where's it coming from? So it's coming from positive infinity and it's coming down in the x direction to -1. Okay, now we should probably flip-flop that, but I totally accept that as an answer. Does that make sense? So in the x direction, what's it doing? Well, for positive infinity, that one up there, it's going to come down. Okay? If I were to make this a true point up here, it would be -infinity, infinity. That was a point that really existed. So our x component comes down to there. So from -infinity in the x direction up to the point -1, we have an equation that's decreasing. Is there another spot that appears to be decreasing? Yeah. So this is going to, if this was a true point, infinity to -infinity. It's going the y direction, going to -infinity. The x direction is going to infinity. So how would you tell me that this is decreasing as well? 3 to -infinity. And let's go with the x though. As I continue in the x direction.
1.
And continue in the x direction. Infinity. Okay? So we're looking at what's going on with the x's. Okay, we're not worried about the y component. Where does it appear in the x direction that this graph is increasing? In the x direction, look at the x only. Yeah, it is increasing from -1 to 3. Okay? Ooh, and last question. I got to add a little bit here. Let's call that the point -2, 0. Let's call that the point 1, 0. Let's call that the point 5, 0. Now this is going to be, this is an easy concept, but easy to get left behind on. Where does this graph appear to be positive? And that means where is it above the x-axis? So where is this line above the... So let's label this region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4. Where does this appear to be positive? 1 and 3. So region 1 and region 3, it's above the x-axis. Okay? So this region here, so from infinity, or -infinity to -2, it's positive. Yeah. Thank you. And from here to here, this region here, that's all a positive region, it's above. So where am I in the x direction? 1 to what? 1 to what? 1 to 5. Okay, we're only talking about those regions. Should I do one more of these, or are you okay? One more? Okay. Okay. So let's say I had this. You okay with this so far? Let's draw in the XY axis. Okay? And just for the sake of love, let's call that point -1, 0. Let's call this point 0, 1. Let's call this point 1, 0. Let's call this point 2, -3. Let's call this point 5, 0. Let's call this point 6, 1. And let's call this point 7, 0. Okay, so I just wanted to label some points. You'll probably be able to look at a grid and be able to tell the maxes and mins. So using the x parts only. So let's figure this out. X parts only. So this is x, this is x, this is x, 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 x. And this is going to -x, -x. So that's the x part. And this is going to infinity to -infinity. Okay, so again, we're only going to focus on the x portion of the points. Still with me? Okay. First thing I want to do is, in black, increasing. So I think from here to here, increasing so far. Does that seem okay so far? So talk to me. Using terms of x, I'm increasing from what intervals? -infinity to what?
0.
-infinity to 0, we're increasing. Again, we're only looking at the x portion. Is it increasing here as well?
Yes.
Yes. So what interval, using the x only, is it increasing? 2 to what? No.
All right.
6. 2 to 6. Because this is the point 6, 1. This is the point 5, 0. So it's increasing here. Does that make sense? Okay. Where is this graph? Decreasing. So there's only really here, agree, and here. Okay? So on that first one, where is it decreasing? What interval? Using the x's only. 0 to what? To 2. Using the x's only. Where is it increasing on the next one? 6 to x's only.
Oh, infinity.
Okay? Positive. Positive means what? It's above what? It's above the x-axis. So it's positive here. And it's positive here. Okay? Tell me, with the x's only, where is it positive on that first one? Negative what? 2? 1. Using the x's only. Where's it positive on the second one? 2? 5 to 7. Yeah, sorry. That's all it is.
Wait, how is it positive from 5 to 7 when it goes from 6 to 7? It's decreasing.
Okay. Increasing just means it would head toward the upper right. If it's positive, it means it's above the x-axis.
Oh,
Hey. Hello? Gotcha.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay? So positive and increasing are meaning two different things. If it's positive, it means it's above the x-axis. If it's increasing, that means that if I were to continue the line in that direction, it would end at the upper right. If it's decreasing, if I were to continue the line, it ends at the lower right.
yeah, I just thought it was I flipped increasing.
I got you. And it's real easy to flip-flop, okay? So let's do this. Does that make sense? Positive above x. So above x means this. Here and here. Right? Increasing would be here, here, and there. Decreasing there, there. Huh. I think we got it. Let's do it.
Wait, what about the
What's that?
what about the main?
The what?
The main.
Domain. Will it go forever that way and forever that way? If so, negative, positive infinity. Okay, usually on the graph, unless it's broken, you know, look for start and ending points. Range, like if I had something like this, just a U shape, the range is going to start at the bottom of that and go to positive infinity. If it's an upside down U, like that, and an end, it's from here down. Okay? I think you're set. You guys are set. Yo!
Oh wait, never mind.
Never mind.